Hello and welcome to the Travel Made Me Do It channel. I'm Dan and I'll be narrating this hikeomentary about the best day hikes in Corsica, which is a French island in the Mediterranean just north of Sardinia, which is an Italian island. Similar to other Mediterranean islands, Corsica's landscape features both immense mountains and coast. This means Corsica is a hiker's playground with both epic mountain hikes and coastal walks. Of course, the most well-known hiking trail in Corsica is the multi-day GR20 trail, which is one of the most popular multi-day trekking options in Europe. The GR20 trail is roughly 180 kilometers long, stretching from the north to the south of Corsica, crossing the island's central mountainous area. Usually the hike takes 16 days to complete. Without a doubt, Beck and I were tempted to do GR20, but we simply didn't have enough time. As a compromise, we decided to visit Corsica for 10 days, fitting in as many single day hikes as possible. With this in mind, this video isn't about the GR20. This video is about all of the best day hikes in Corsica. Specifically, we'll cover details about 17 of the best day hikes on the island that Beck and I did. During our trip, we didn't venture into the central mountainous area of Corsica because the single day hikes in the mountains were often quite time consuming, which would limit how many we could do. Because of this, we opted for less time consuming and more easily accessible hikes along the coastline. All of the day hikes shown here took place on the north, west and south coast of Corsica. For more information about the hikes covered in this video, as well as general tips about hiking in Corsica, make sure to read our Corsica hiking guide. You can find the link in the description below. First, we'll start with the best day hikes in northern Corsica. This includes two fantastic long coastal paths, which we'll look at shortly. The first of these northern Corsica coastal walks that we'll show you is called Sentier des Douaniers Cap Corse. Throughout the video, I'll do my best to pronounce the name of the hike in the native language. I apologize in advance for all my mispronunciations. Anyway, in English, the name of this hike translates to the Customs Officer's Path of Cape Corse. Along many sections of the Corsican coastline, you'll find trails that were used by customs officers to patrol the coastline and protected against smuggling. This practice likely occurred during the Genoese rule in the late medieval and early modern period. Beck and I did several hikes in Corsica which followed along these historical trails, so you'll see other customs officers' paths that we followed during our trip later in the video. For now, let's talk about the Customs Officer's Path of Cape Corse. This coastal path is 23 kilometers long, stretching along the northern tip of Cape Corse, from Sentier in the east to Macinaggio in the west. In terms of direction, Beck and I chose to walk from west to east, which meant walking from Sentier to Macinaggio, but it's actually more common to do the walk from east to west. Even more common is just doing a section of the coastal path, usually between Ajaccio and Macinaggio. To do this point-to-point walk, we drove to and parked in Macinaggio. We then caught a pre-booked taxi to Sentier for €50, which took around 35 minutes. As mentioned, we then completed the walk from Sentier to Macinaggio. Altogether, the walk takes around 6.5 to 7.5 hours. Along the way, you'll pass serene beaches, quiet coastal villages, and also a couple of Genoese tower ruins. The second of these northern Corsica coastal paths that we'll show you is called Sentier des Douaniers Saint-Florent. The name of this walk translates in English to the Customs Officer's Path of Saint-Florent. This coastal path is 37 kilometers, stretching from Ostraconi in the west to Saint-Florent in the east. One of the most popular trail options along the Customs Officer's Path of Saint-Florent is the 16-kilometer coastal walk between the famous Salario beach and Saint-Florent via Lotu beach. This is the hike that Beck and I did. This involved taking a ferry from Saint-Florent to Salario beach. We then walked back to Saint-Florent along the coastal path via Lotu beach. The walk explores a natural area of northern Corsica called the Agriat Desert. Despite this area being named a desert, its coastal location means it's not a typical desert with red, barren soil and dunes. Instead, the area mostly features beaches and bays amongst shrubland. These beaches include the well-known Salario Beach and Lotu Beach. In particular, Salario Beach is well famous as a filming location for the 1962 film The Longest Day. The beach is truly stunning and has to be one of the best beaches in Corsica, let alone Europe. All in all, the walk takes around 5 to 6 hours to complete. Bear in mind that you'll need to do a river crossing during this walk, so make sure to pack appropriately for wading across a river stream. Now we'll look at all of the best day hikes in western Corsica. You'll find that most of the best day hikes in Corsica are on its western side, so most of the hikes shown in this video are along the west coast of Corsica. These trails are generally located in and around Calvi, Porto and Ajaccio. The first hike we'll look at in western Corsica is the walk around Pointe della Revellata, which is a peninsula just west of the coastal town of Calvi. There are many walking tracks scattered across the headland, but the most popular walking route is a 9-kilometer circuit walk that conveniently loops around it. Along this walk, you'll enjoy many outstanding views and vantage points of the peninsula's coastline. In addition, you'll reach an active lighthouse and also a well-secluded beach that's a popular spot for snorkeling. For this walk, and most of the other walks shown in this video, we've written a blog post about it. So other than reading our Corsica hiking guide for a brief overview about this walk and others, feel free to read the individual blog post for all of the nitty-gritty details. You'll find the links to all of these blog posts in the description below. In this chapter, we'll show you the Sentier du Facteur, Girolata. In English, the name of this hike translates to the Postman's Path to Girolata. Yes, the path is named after a local former postman who used to deliver mail to Girolata via this path. Girolata can only be accessed by foot or by boat, so using this path was the only way to deliver mail to the village. It's this path that you'll walk on that the postman used for years. Overall, the Postman's Path to Girolata is one of the best hikes in Corsica. By doing this walk, you'll reach the secluded village of Girolata, which has its own lovely beach, featuring a 16th century Genoese fort perched on its northern headland. During the hike, you'll also visit a beautiful hidden beach called Turara Beach, which is a common sight for seeing those classic Corsican beach-loving cows. Because the hike is a figure-8 loop, you'll actually visit the beach twice. It was only on the second time that we visited the beach during the return walk that we saw cows chilling out on the beach, so if you don't spot them on the beach when you first arrive, you'll get a second chance on the way back. This next hike takes place in the UNESCO World Heritage listed Calanques de Piana, which are a collection of stunning red granite rock formations along the west coast of Corsica in the Gulf of Porto. There are several hiking options in the area to choose from. Beck and I decided to do 2 hikes to explore the Calanques di Piana area. One of these hikes, shown here, is called Sentier du Château Fort Piana, which roughly translates to the Trail of the Fortified Castle of Piana. This short hiking trail leads you to the best viewpoint of the Fortified Castle of Piana, which is one of the most famous rock formations in Calanques di Piana. As the name suggests, the Fortified Castle of Piana resembles that of a fortified castle or stone fortress. In the same area, Beck and I chose to do another hike called the Calanques di Piana hike via Sentier Muletier, which translates to the Piana Mule Trail. Back in the day, the Piana Mule Trail was the only route linking the villages of Piana, Porto, and Otta, which people primarily navigated with mules. Today, the Piana Mule Trail serves as a superb hiking trail that provides some of the best views over Calanques di Piana. In addition to the Piana Mule Trail, this hike uses a combination of walking tracks to form a convenient 4.3 kilometer circuit walk. If you get the chance to visit this area, we highly recommend doing this walk. We'll now move on to the Capo Rosso hiking trail, which is one of the most popular hikes in Corsica. Capo Rosso, or Cape Rosso, is a prominent headland south of the Gulf of Porto, near the village of Piana. The Cape is one of Corsica's most outstanding natural attractions. The Cape itself features remarkable red granite cliff formations. It actually forms part of the wider UNESCO World Heritage Site, which also includes Calanques di Piana. Other than the Cape being spectacular in and of itself, from the peak of the Cape, you'll enjoy excellent panoramic views of the Gulf of Porto and the surrounding landscape. At the Cape's peak, there is also a Genoese tower that you can explore. All in all, the roughly 9 kilometer out and back walk takes around 2.5 to 3 hours to complete. We'll now move on to the hikes in and around Ajaccio. First, we'll look at the Sentier des Crêtes Ajaccio, which translates to the crest or ridge trail of Ajaccio. The crest trail of Ajaccio is located in a forested, mountainous area just north of the city of Ajaccio. The trail provides epic views of the city, the surrounding coastline, and across the Gulf of Ajaccio. The crest trail of Ajaccio is actually made up of a low crest and high crest trail. We discussed the difference between these trails in depth in our blog post. Again, you can find the link to this post in the description below. Basically, Beck and I chose to do a walk that combines sections of the low and high crest trails. By doing so, we hiked to Monte Salario, which is one of the highest peaks in Ajaccio. The next hike here is called Sentier des Douaniers Ajaccio, which translates to the Customs Officer's Path of Ajaccio. The hike starts from the Puente de la Parata car park, where you'll follow a path north to a lovely beach called Petit Capo. Officially speaking, the walk doesn't continue further north of Petit Capo, but just north of it is another beach called Gran Capo that you can check out if you want to extend the walk. The collective name of Petit Capo and Gran Capo is Capo di Feno. Undoubtedly, Capo di Feno is one of the most popular coastal areas to visit near Ajaccio. Other than visiting the stunning Capo di Feno, the trail itself is scenic and enjoyable. This hike is a 7.6 kilometer out and back route, which shouldn't take more than 2.5 hours. Despite the Customs Officer's Path of Ajaccio, starting at the Puente de la Parata car park, the hike itself doesn't include exploring Puente de la Parata itself. Puente de la Parata is a spectacular peninsula that deserves to be explored in its own right. Conveniently, there is a 4-kilometer loop walk around the headland. Personally, Beck and I did this walk around the headland before doing the Customs Officer's Path of Ajaccio. From the peak of the headland, you'll enjoy fantastic views of Parata Tower and the Sanguinari Islands. Similar to Puente de la Parata, Capu di Muru is a stunning peninsula featuring a circular walk that loops around it. The 8.7 kilometer circuit trail around Capu di Muru loops around much of the Cape, allowing you to explore the vast majority of its main attractions. The Cape itself is nestled between two gorgeous bays, the Gulf of Ajaccio and the Gulf of Valincu. During most of the walk, you'll enjoy magnificent coastal views of these bays. At other times, you'll be walking amongst dense areas of shrubland, void of views. Without a doubt, the highlight of this walk is exploring the western tip of the Cape, which features steep, rugged cliffs and groups of incredibly coloured and shaped rock formations. Many of these geological wonders are found at Capu di Muru beach. Near this beach, you'll also find a Genoese tower, a small chapel, and a lighthouse. So all in all, there is much to see and enjoy during this walk. The final hike that we'll show you in Western Corsica is the Sentier du Littoral de Campomoro, which loosely translates to the Campomoro Coastal Trail. In total, this coastal path is 22 kilometers long. It stretches between Campomoro and Tizzano. Along this coastal trail, there are several hiking options. Here, you'll see Beck and I doing a modified version of the Canoe Sedu loop, which involved extending the walk to visit Campomoro Tower. This hiking option involves doing an 8.8 kilometer circuit walk, taking around 2.5 to 3 hours. We'll now move on to the best day hikes in the south of Corsica, starting with the Sentier Littoral dei Bruzzi, which roughly translates to the Bruzzi Coastal Trail. Beck and I think that this is one of the most underrated hikes in Corsica. The 5-kilometer loop visits 4 small yet stunning beaches. It's possible that doing this hike at sunrise added to our memorable experience, so we recommend that you do the same and do this walk at sunrise. Not to be confused with Capo di Feno in Ajaccio, there is a peninsula in Bonifacio with the same name. The Capo di Feno Bonifacio walk is a 9.5 kilometer circuit that wonderfully loops around the cape. In addition to its natural beauty, the cape also features historical attractions. This includes a lighthouse called Capo di Feno Lighthouse and a chapel called Hermitage of the Trinity. We hope you have better weather when you do this walk. We got absolutely soaked. Strada Vecia Madonetta is the next hike we'll cover, and it also takes place in Bonifacio. The hike is also known as Sentier da Strada Vecchia e Madonetta, which loosely translates to Path of the Old Road and Madonetta. Basically, from the town of Bonifacio, you'll follow an old Roman road called Strada Vecchia, which leads to a superb beach called Paragon Beach. After that, you'll follow a different coastal trail that passes through hidden coves and bays. Then, the coastal path leads you to Madonetta Lighthouse, which is possibly the most spectacular lighthouse in Corsica. This next chapter looks at a short walk at Escalier du Roi d'Aragon, which translates to King of Aragon's Staircase. The steep staircase has been amazingly carved into the cliffside of Bonifacio. After descending the nearly 190 steps, there is a short trail that winds around the cliffside, offering fantastic views of the Strait of Bonifacio out towards Sardinia. Last but not least, we've got the Capu Rumanilu trail to show you. This trail is also known as the Bonifacio Cliff Walk, as the track explores the mesmerizing white sandstone cliff walls surrounding Bonifacio. The Campu Rumanilu trail itself is only a 1.75 kilometer track, which makes for a 3.5 kilometer return walk. Along this trail, you'll enjoy arguably the best views of the Bonifacio cliffs. However, there are many more views and vantage points to enjoy further south of the trail. That's why we highly recommend extending the walk to Capo per Château. By doing so, not only will you enjoy additional views of the Bonifacio cliffs, but you'll visit the enchanting lighthouse of per Château. Even more impressive than the lighthouse is the incredible viewpoint of Saint-Antoine Beach located next to the lighthouse. For more information about the Bonifacio cliff walk to Capo per Château, feel free to read the blog post that we wrote about it. Again, the link is in the description below. We'll leave you now to enjoy the epic scenery surrounding Bonifacio. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our latest hikementaries. Bye for now.